If you know anything about the book, it's not a rom-com. Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. A bitch is back talking about book to movie adaptations. We are actually going to be talking about the It Ends With Us movie. I just saw it last night, the Friday night opening. It's so funny because I'm actually seeing it tomorrow too, because one of my group of friends was like, hey, do you want to go watch it? I have the AMC pass, so I have 3 movies a week. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go watch it with you. And then someone else texted me the other day, hey, do you want to go watch it on Sunday? I was like, sure. So I'm watching it on Friday and Sunday. So I'm actually going to be watching it tomorrow. If I find more things to talk about while watching it a second time, I'll put it in the video if I don't upload the video by that time. It's going to be all of my thoughts on the book, the movie, how it all panned out, the drama behind the movie. It Ends With Us, if you don't know what it is, what it's about, it's a movie that just came out. It's based on a book, a very, very popular book by the author Colleen Hoover. And the backstory to the drama is that before this movie came out, it stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni is also the director of the movie, and apparently during the promo, Blake Lively and Colleen Hoover are going around doing press for this movie. It seems like people noticed that Blake, Colleen, Jenny Slate, everybody who's in the movie doesn't follow Justin Baldoni, but Justin Baldoni follows everybody else on Instagram. Or they unfollow Justin Baldoni, whatever it may be. Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively are promoting this movie like it's a rom-com, which we'll get into a little bit later. If you know anything about the book, it's not a rom-com, okay? It's not a rom-com. Whereas Justin Baldoni is going out on his own, promoting the movie differently, talking about the tough topics that it discusses in the movie. And spoiler alert, also trigger warning, it is a movie about DV, aka domestic violence. A lot of interviews that Justin has been doing, he's promoting it and bringing up these tough subjects, talking about male gaze versus the female gaze, and discusses the importance of the movie, what it can do for survivors, for bringing the message out there, how hard it is to leave that type of situation. It seems like Justin really cares about this project, and that's what he's putting out there. And I think it's one of those things where Colleen and Blake, it seems like, obviously I don't know what they're trying to go for, but it seems like they're trying to promote this movie. Like they want audiences to go into it and then think it's a rom-com and a romance, and the audiences will be like, oh my god, and get the shock value, right? And I think in that way, there's a lot of impact to it, getting that shock value, because when these type of situations happen, you don't see it coming and it does come out of nowhere, right? And you think you are in this happy bubble, and then bam, something one day can just change everything, right? I think they even say that in the book, that one thing can just change, you flip out your whole world. In one instance, I do see how that could be of value, trying to have audiences go in blind and get the shock value out of it and feel more impactful that way. On the other hand, I do see and I do think it's important to put these trigger warnings out there, that these are very triggering subjects for people. It's also good to know what movie you're going into, what you're watching, because what if people just want a nice, fun time and they're like, oh, I just want to be happy today. I'm already so sad today. I need something that will lift up my mood. Imagine they think that and then they go into this movie. Could you imagine? Man, I had the worst day at work. Let me go watch a movie. Oh, this little rom-com seems so nice. Let me go watch it. Let me go watch it by myself. Let me have a little movie night to myself. I need something to lift up my mood. Ooh, it has Blake Lively in it. Oh my god, it has Justin Baldoni in it. Oh, so cute. They go into it. Now I'm just more sad. So Blake also said in an interview that Ryan Reynolds wrote the rooftop scene in the movie. I think she told this to like E! News or something. I don't honestly understand why she said that or what that whole thing was about, because the rooftop scene, watching it in the movie, it was pretty book accurate. Did she just want to name drop her husband or something? Like, I really did not understand that, because it's pretty book accurate, and the entire movie is pretty book accurate. But also on top of that, right, the whole backstory to this movie and the movie drama is the fact that, to me, it's kind of crazy that people think there's drama solely based on the fact that Justin Baldoni follows them but they don't follow him on Instagram. Literally reading through so many different lines to be like, ooh, there's tea here. There's something going on here because they're doing press this way and they're doing press that way. Imagine if people think that there's all this drama just because they don't follow each other on Instagram and they're doing this press tour differently. There probably is some sort of drama. I understand that people aren't thinking that there's drama and it's coming from nowhere. It is coming from somewhere, but imagine they just don't follow each other just because. And they're really in real life just buddy-buddy behind the scenes, but everyone's like, oh my god, there's drama. Imagine if there was no drama and they're just like, y'all, where are you guys getting this from? A little backstory before I get into my full thoughts on the movie. I read this book back in 2020 when it was popping off on TikTok, okay? It was actually one of the first books that I had truly read when I started really getting into reading. It was the first Colleen Hoover book I ever read. Some of you will hate me when I say this, okay? Some of you will hate me when I say this because you know how my channel is. I honestly loved it. I loved it when it first came out, flaws and all. It gutted me. I went into it blind and I was super invested in the story. I went into it thinking it was gonna be a romance and I left the book reeling and thinking about it for days. I cried. To this day, after, you know, going through my book channel, reading other Colleen Hoover books, and I will link them, like, you know how I feel about Colleen Hoover now. I think to this day, it is the only Colleen Hoover book that I have found, because I haven't read all her books, so I wouldn't really know. This one and Verity, I think, are the only books that I have found to be mildly enjoyable. It is not as flawed as a majority of her other books. Like, it does not make me so frustrated. In November 9, this man is burning down your house. In Ugly Love, this man is calling out another girl's name while he is in you. So yeah, this book was mildly enjoyable comparatively to all her other books. I've made 2 different reviews on her other books, on Ugly Love and November 9. I will link them. Suffice it to say, I didn't really like those books, but I will say that if I were to reread It Ends With Us, I don't think I would enjoy it as much. I also don't think I truly hate it. I think that it would have the right amount of cringe because all books are cringy. Like, let's be real. If there's some sort of romance in a book, it's okay for it to be cringy. It's okay for it to have lines that don't make sense that people would not say in real life. It's fine. I think I kind of like it, and I don't think this book I would enjoy it as much today, and it is so flawed. I think in a way it does hold a little special place in my heart through all its cringe, through all its Ellen letters, which is, we're not going to talk about that. I think it's a very important story at the end of the day. Does it do everything well, showing domestic violence well and getting the message across? It has an audience, and it hit that audience really well, and there's a reason why this book is popular. There's a reason why mainstream artists like Justin Baldoni, like Blake Lively, saw potential in the message in the project and wanted to make it into a movie. I do think there is merit to that. So I don't want to say just because everybody hates Colleen Hoover, it's the worst thing in the world. I don't necessarily agree with that. So I do think, in a way, I understand why it's popular. There's a reason why it's popular, and it holds a special place in my heart. There's also not a lot of mainstream books out nowadays that talk about these tough subjects that have gone into the mainstream. This is one of the main ones, and you can really applaud the book for doing that and for making this subject, putting it out into the mainstream. You have to applaud that. Let's get into my thoughts on the movie. Long story short, lovers of the book will love the movie. Haters of the book will hate the movie. That is the final say I will say on this, okay? It is actually a really good adaptation of the book. It took out all of the things that were bad about the book, like the Ellen stuff, like some of the cringy writing, and kept a lot of the good things in the book. The cringy dialogue was still in the movie. The whole rooftop scene that apparently Ryan Reynolds wrote, but it was really very similar to the book, so I don't understand why they said he wrote it. It's very similar to the book. If he wrote it, it was like he was a student trying to do a research paper, looks on Wikipedia, and just rephrases it to put it in his essay. That's really what it truly was. If Ryan Reynolds wrote this scene, he just rephrased whatever was in the book. So you can't be like, oh yeah, he wrote this scene. Anyway, the cringy dialogue is still in it. It really showed truly that there's some things that you can write in books that you really cannot do in movies. What got me in this movie is they pulled a Jenny Han. They pulled a Jenny Han in the movie Tell me why they are at this party. Everyone looks glamorous. Everyone looks amazing, gorgeous. They're in this penthouse suite. And then bam, Colleen Hoover shows up on the screen. Why was Colleen Hoover just bam, popped up on my screen? And then she was in the background for the whole shot. And she's everywhere. You know her face. If you know anything about books, you will see her face everywhere. It was so distracting. I don't know why. Her face was distracting for me, but yeah, she pulls a Jenny Han. She was in the background of one of the scenes in this movie. And I truly, whatever happened in that scene, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened because I was just staring at Colleen Hoover because I was like, oh my God, Miss Colleen, what are you doing here? She did not fit in at all in the scene, but it was so funny. And speaking of funny, there were so many parts where I know I was not supposed to laugh, but I could not help but chuckle for some reason because there were so many pauses. They took a day and a half for Blake Lively to get out her words, and every time she would get out her words, she would mumble it. I'm sorry, I love you, gorgeous, gorgeous woman, but I could not hear what you're saying half the time because you're mumbling everything. There were so many unnecessary pauses that I just wanted to laugh. Speaking of gorgeous, gorgeous Blake Lively, why did they make her look like that? She is the most beautiful woman on this planet, okay? Dare I say, the most beautiful, gorgeous woman on this planet. And they made her look not as good as she always looks. She is just utterly gorgeous. Like, what was the wig? It was the wig. Her hair was distracting me. I think it was a wig. It was distracting me so much throughout the whole movie. It looked like she had a late night out the night before, truly, and it was so distracting for me because I know this woman is a goddess. The wig was not helping. The wig was not helping. I feel like a bully saying that. Like, how do they make the most beautiful woman, like Blake Lively, how do they make her look bad? And the outfits were not helping either. But if they wanted to go for this frizzier wig, because her hair was frizzy the entire movie, from the very beginning to the very end, I feel so like a bully. I feel like a bully. I don't know why but I wish, okay, this is my constructive criticism, is that if they were gonna do this messier look for her hair, I wish they started the movie to have her be this, you know, very bright, beaming with light, shiny, hopeful personality. Her hair's healthy, she's opening up her business. Then the day she begins to see Ryle, you know, she's opening a flower shop. It's like the flowers that she grows in her shop. The day she met Ryle is the day you cut the flower from its stem and from its roots. It's being snapped off, and now this flower slowly beginning to die, and over time the costuming could have had her hair become a little bit messier and messier over time and see her slowly deteriorate into a more frizzy hair. I think that would have been really great character work for her, especially since towards the end of the movie, she does ask Ryle, hey Ryle, are you happy? Are you happy in this relationship? Are you happy with me? He goes, yeah, of course I'm happy. And I know they outwardly say it, but I wish we saw it physically because it is a movie, right? So maybe they could have done that with hair costuming. In the very beginning, her hair is healthy, shiny, bright. By the end, they could have had the frizziness and they could have had it slowly beginning to die and dry out. But the entire time, her hair was distracting. Actually editing this video and looking back on the pictures that we got from the movie, I might be wrong because this is a photo from the very beginning of the movie, the rooftop scene, and her hair actually doesn't look that bad. And then this is a picture from the very end of the movie. So there's a drastic difference there, but I think while watching it, I didn't feel like her hair slowly deteriorated. It felt like it was just like that the whole movie. The ending picture, the entire movie. So I think it was truly that the wig didn't fit right. Even if it was a wig. What if it wasn't a wig? What if that was her hair? But I feel like it's a wig. I don't know. But yeah, her hair was distracting. That's all I can say. I'm sorry, that was the theater major coming out on me. On top of that, I questioned the whole movie. Where is Lily Blossom Bloom getting this money from? Miss Girl owns a flower shop. How did she get enough money to open this business and to open this flower shop and to have the employee? Because I know in the book, Alyssa is her employee, but she works for free. But it doesn't say that in the movie, okay? So one can only assume that she has to pay her. Where is she getting this money from? She owns a flower shop. No way a florist who has to pay the lease and the rent for the first 3 to 4 months that you haven't opened the flower shop yet. Is it her father's funeral money maybe? But I just kept thinking about that the whole time because it cut to a scene one day where Lily was wearing Louis Vuittons. I said, where did she have Louis Vuitton money? Maybe Ryle bought them for her? I don't know. But I was really questioning that the whole movie. That's basically what my thoughts were for the negatives I had on the movie. The positives I have, and there are positives, okay, is that I really loved the casting for young Alice and young Lily. Whoever played young Lily, who is that? Because she was spot on with matching Blake's voice to her voice. She sounded very similar to Blake. She just looks like Blake live. I thought they did really great on that. And I thought that the young couple, the young Lily and Atlas, had way more chemistry than Ryle and Lily grown up. I was really hoping for more of the young scenes because they really ate that up. They ate up their scene time that they had, in my opinion. The chemistry I felt with older Lily and Atlas, the rooftop scene where it's supposed to be oozing with chemistry, felt kind of dry. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so awkward because it's just them two like out on the rooftop and she's just cackling to herself and he's just staring at her and it's so awkward. I'm like, oh. I really liked the young Lily and Atlas, and I think those were my favorite parts of the movie. Also, one of my favorite parts of the movie, so surprisingly, was Jenny Slate. She was amazing. She was so funny. For some reason, I thought she was so endearing. I actually really loved her. She was so charming and so funny. Every time I laughed in the movie, it was because of her. I liked her in the movie, and I liked Hassan Minhaj, the 2 lines that he had in it, but they were funny. They were good together. And lastly, I liked the way that they recontextualized the DV scenes that were in the movie. How when it happens, when the first DV scene happens, DV being, when that first scene happens, it doesn't actually look like he hit her. And I'm pretty sure they shot 2 scenes of this where he actually doesn't hit her. It's just her falling backwards. It actually truly does look like an accident. And then the scene when she falls down the stairs, it doesn't look like he pushed her down the stairs. It actually truly does look like she fell down the stairs. And then when they recontextualize those scenes, we see the scene reshot where he does hit her and does push her down the stairs. It's like, damn, it really showed what we saw in Lily's eyes, that it felt like an accident, that it was an accident. I truly believed it was an accident. When you recontextualize it, it's like, oh, that's what we were seeing in Lily's eyes. When in reality, we saw what was in reality. He did it, and it was purposeful. So I loved that they recontextualized those to show the hope that someone who goes through this has for the person that they love and the way that it actually happens. It's very much what we wish for versus reality type of scenario. Kind of all my thoughts I had on the movie. I know I'm missing a lot of stuff, but this is just everything I thought about on first viewing. Please let me know what you thought about the movie, if you liked it, if you hated it. Long story short, in conclusion, did I like the movie? Did I hate it? I did not think it was that bad. I think that book lovers will like it, book haters will hate it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Me, I thought it was fine. I didn't like it more than I liked it. I thought it was a little slow. I thought there was a lot of pacing issues. But I am a book reviewer. I am not a film reviewer. I do have a letterbox and I do review films, but I feel like my critiques aren't as justified with movies than they are with books. But anyway, please let me know your thoughts. If you hated it, if you liked it. I really want to hear it all. All opinions are open. I don't know what to think of it, is my consensus. I didn't think it was horrible, and I thought that it had good heart, but I also didn't think it was that amazing. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you in the next one.